There are over 2,500 videos uploaded to YouTube every minute. So how do you make a video that stands out and actually gets views? Well, after making over 1,000 videos for the world's largest creators and growing this exact channel from 0 to over 50,000 subscribers in the last year, I've found that growing on YouTube really boils down to 3 simple steps. Now, being stuck as a small YouTuber really sucks. I know this because on my very first channel, it took me over an entire year of trial and error to hit my first 1,000 subscribers. Fast forward to today, I was able to get my first 1,000 subs on this channel in under 30 days. But what's interesting is the strategy I use to grow 100 times faster is not what you would expect. You see, the first step is actually credibility maximization. When I first started YouTube, I wanted to talk about investing because that's what I was passionate about at the time. I made videos like this, and was so confused at why they weren't getting views. The problem was that I was 19, living at home with my parents, making $10 an hour at my restaurant job. I mean, really, no one is gonna listen to that kid giving financial advice. So whatever your niche is on YouTube, you need to really ask and be honest with yourself about why people should listen to you. And because I know a lot about my topic is unfortunately not enough. So you need to put that credibility into your content and tell people all of your accomplishments in every video because they need to know that they can trust you giving them information. Now, you may think this is small, but it's actually one of the biggest pieces that a lot of small creators miss when they're trying to grow on YouTube. In fact, about 1 year ago, I paid a big YouTuber $3,000 for an hour of his time. And while he was looking at my videos, he gave me one piece of advice that really changed how I saw YouTube forever. And once you understand it, it will allow you to get 10 or even 100 times more views on your videos. And it all boils down to a little known algorithm hack that leverages credibility to get more views on your content. It's called intro stacking, and it cost me $3,000 to learn and give to you for free, so listen up. It's when you intentionally put as many lines of credibility in the first 30 seconds of your video as possible. For example, let's look at my intro on this video. I've inserted credibility into the 3rd line of this video. Well, after making over 1,000 videos for the world's largest creators and growing this exact channel from 0 to over 50,000 subscribers in the last year, and then in the last line I say, fast forward to today, I was able to get my first 1,000 subs on this channel in under 30 days. You should always be adding at least 2 lines of credibility to every intro that you write. And in an ideal world, that should be the very first and last line of your intro. But if you take credibility one step farther, it will allow you to skyrocket your channel and never have to wake up with no new subscribers again. And it's the same strategy that allowed this guy to blow up and get hundreds of thousands of views with no cuts, no edits, and no thumbnails. It's called environmental credibility. And all it comes down to is you just changing up your setup a little bit. You see, William Brown is one of the most popular guys in the make money online space right now. And he's able to stand out because his environment gives him credibility. First, he's got a crazy view over Dubai. I mean, a view that only somebody with money can actually buy. Next, he has a business award on his wall for making over $10 million online. That is something that can't be faked. And finally, he has on a golden Rolex worth around $40,000. You need to design your environment to raise your credibility as much as possible. And the next step that I took to take my channel from 0 to over 50,000 subscribers in the span of 1 year is something that anyone can implement today and instantly start seeing more views and subscribers. If you look at any of the great YouTubers, they all have one thing in common: great thumbnails. Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter how good your video is. If nobody clicks on it, YouTube will throw it away into the no impressions jail. Now, you're probably thinking, Lyndon, I already know that I need good thumbnails. But there's actually a new thumbnail strategy that I've been using recently that's allowed me to get way more views, spending much less time on my thumbnails. And that is working with a thumbnail designer. And to find these thumbnail designers, you really don't want to look on Fiverr or Upwork. You want to look on Twitter. All you have to do is just search up thumbnail designer and find one of the first people that comes up. So for example, we could go to Zed's profile. But the real way to find someone who's going to be a really good long-term fit for you is go to their following. So find a good thumbnail designer and then look at the people that he follows. From there, you are going to have a list of hundreds of thumbnail designers that you can pick and choose from. So for example, if we look at this one right now, we have MTTNZ, we have Vin, we have Costa, we have Matasia, we have Rede, we have Neox, we have Lamanta. So essentially, if they're a talented thumbnail designer, most of the people that they follow will also be talented thumbnail designers. And then you can just reach out to all of these people, find someone who fits within your budget. I would recommend spending around $40 to $50 on thumbnails, even if you're a new YouTuber. That is the one thing that I would spend money on. I wouldn't even recommend you spend money on editing. I would recommend you spend money on thumbnails first. If you're gonna invest anywhere, you can learn how to do them yourself, but it's just going to make you grow so much slower. These guys have been doing it for years, and Photoshop is not easy. So if you want to basically fast track your success, this is the way to do it. But there is one principle that you must make sure these designers follow, and it is the key to viral thumbnails. But to understand it, we have to look at one of the biggest YouTubers, Iman Gaji. These 3 thumbnails all have 2 things in common: millions of views and 3 elements. You see, most beginners' thumbnails look like this, where they have 5, 6, 7, or even more elements on the screen because they want to give context to the viewer. But what you have to understand is that while scrolling, viewers only have about 0.02 seconds to see your thumbnail and then decide if they're going to read the title. This means that you need to make the thumbnails very simple, and it is very hard to overcomplicate a thumbnail that has 3 things in it. MrBeast, Ryan Trahan, and all of the biggest YouTubers follow this rule. And once you start applying it to your videos, you will get way more views. And if you look closely, you can see that all of these thumbnails have one psychological trick that forces the viewer to click. This thumbnail shows full energy. This thumbnail shows money being made. And this thumbnail shows low income going to high. These are all the exact dream outcomes of the viewers. So if you're making a video about how to get a 6-pack, then show yours. If you're making a video about cooking steak, then show the perfect steak. And if you're showing people how to get rich, show a full bank account. This simple addition to your thumbnails tells you exactly what to put in them every time. And if you do this, it will get you more views. So now that we have your intros and your thumbnails correct, we need to focus on storytelling. And there's a storytelling strategy that has increased how long someone watches my videos significantly, which once you implement it into your videos, will help them get pushed in the YouTube algorithm and go from this to this. It's called roller coaster scripts, and it looks like this. You see, when you're writing videos, you need to make someone feel something. You need to bring them through the highs and the lows. This is the truest retention hack out there. And we do this by writing our scripts like a roller coaster. Your beginning should be high. You figure out exactly what your viewer wants and then tell them how to get that. Then once you tell them how, talk about how great it is to have that. This gets them excited, but then in the middle of your script, things take a downward turn. You want to tell the viewer that if they don't learn the next thing that you're going to talk about, then they will keep struggling. And then follow them into that place. What does that struggle actually look like? But then come out of it. No one wants to watch a sad video. So you should take them back into that happy place, saying something like, once you learn this, it will allow you to get X, Y, and Z thing that you want. Then celebrate with them. Show them what life is really like once they implement this advice. And if you learn how to properly emphasize those highs and those lows in your tonality, it will make it almost impossible for viewers to click off. So how does tonality actually work? Well, there's many different types of tones. There's really, really, really excited, right? Being extremely excited about what you're talking about and giving that energy to the viewer. And then there's sad, where you're letting the viewer feel the real you. And then there's angry. Why haven't you done this? This is the most important thing that you could do in your life. And then there's fearful, where you could be like, I'm really scared for you, because if you don't learn this, then it's going to really affect your life. And I do not want that for you. So to learn how to do this, there's a few different ways. The first is recording yourself. So if you sit down, write out an emotion, get ChatGPT to generate you 1-minute script, right? Then you try to deliver that entire script in that feeling. What you want to do is just record yourself and then watch the footage back right after and take notes about what you could have done better. Filming the different emotions and just practicing. That's really what it comes down to. And the second method is a lot more intense, but it's what I did, and that is going to improv classes. I took improv classes with one of my best friends for about a year straight, and that improved my on-camera presence by so much. And the reason is because you're playing characters on the stage, right? And you're being hysterical, you're being angry, you're being fearful. It's definitely scary, but it is worth it. If you're trying to improve your camera presence, that's one of the fastest ways that you can do it. And the next part of it is hand gestures. So when I first started on YouTube, I knew that hand gestures were important. And what I would do is I would constantly be moving my hands. I'd be like, so, if we're actually going around and doing X, Y, and Z thing, and it was just way too much. And that's the number one thing that I see people messing up on, is they're moving their hands way too often. Whereas now you'll see that I really don't move my hands a ton, right? I'll make one movement, keep my hands kind of just like slowly moving, and then I'll do another movement. engagement, right? So with your hands, you want to dial it back a little bit, but you don't want to sit with them down here, right? You don't just want to sit and present like this because it's very boring. And there's a few tips that help me be a lot more engaging. So the first is to show your hands outward to the camera. What a lot of people do is they'll show their hands like this and they'll talk like, hey, we're gonna do X, Y, and Z thing. But the problem with this is it's almost like you're guarding yourself. But there's a psychological response in humans to where they feel like they're comfortable and they're talking to a friend to turn their hands outwards. And this actually signals to the other person that this person feels comfortable with them. Consciously, remember, not always having your hands like this, turn them out. That's gonna help you a ton and help people connect with you a lot more. The next is just build a few hand movements that you do every single time. So for example, every time that I say a number below 10, I will always hold it up. 7, 6, 3. And I literally do all of these numbers every single time I say them. I never skip it because that's just one of my rules. The other thing that you can do is, this is a really good one, where you start here and then put your hands out because you have the outward facing palms, and it allows you to open a topic very, very well. Another really, really good one that I don't see a ton of people doing is having their arm on the table and then going like this and then looking at the camera to emphasize a point. So how do you make a video that stands out and actually gets views? You just need to film yourself, watch it back, and give any notes that you have on your hand movements, right? Now, I still obsess over YouTube every single day, and that's why I've put together a completely free YouTube course with over 6 hours of content that tells you everything that you need to know in order to grow from 0 to over 100,000 subscribers this year. And I made this course because I wanted to create a place where like-minded creators can go and actually converse and meet people who have the same interests as them, because I know how lonely it is when you're first starting out and you haven't met a ton of other creators yet. Inside that course and community, we have over 26,000 people so far. So watch this video next, where I'll show you how to get access, what you'll learn inside, and how you can use the information inside to grow your YouTube channel to over 100,000 subs. Thanks and have a great day.